everybody, Edo here, and this is Steve Finn's, Dr. Finn's 2022 lineup, which is live on Kickstarter. Now, if you're not aware, I own and run Pencil First Games, and Steve Finn has made a number of games with us. Herbaceous, Sunset Over Water, Herbaceous Sprouts, The Whatnot Cabinet, Foliferous, which isn't quite out yet, but coming. I absolutely adore Steve Finn's games. I think he's a fantastic designer, and he does not disappoint from my perspective. I've reviewed and previewed tons of his games, and here's even more. I also envy that he's doing these massive Kickstarters that are essentially 4 games in one, pick any you want, etc. I'm not going to open up all these boxes and dive in, but I want to give a quick overview. A lot of great product in here, and in particular, kudos to Steve. He's leveling up his box design, his components, his board. The visual execution on his titles keeps getting better and better, and that's a place where traditionally I think Dr. Finn's games is, game first, visual second. These are really leveling it up. So in no particular order, we have Alpujarres, I think I'm pronouncing that right, but you are Fruitful Farmers in Northern Africa. This is, I believe, 2 to 4 players, 1 to 4 players. I haven't played solo on these games. And in this one, it's this neat game where you are effectively, what he's done is he's creating like, you could call it a rondelle, but it's a track around your board. And it works like, what's that game called? Tokaido, or even on Tutankhamun, where players are picking actions on this track, sort of like action selection. But when you go, the person who's in last place goes, it keeps going, right? And so like you can go as far as you want, you can pick whatever action you want, but then everyone's following along. Those other games are good examples of this, but what I think really makes this game very interesting is it's tying that action selection mechanic for the trailing player, which I really like, and layering it on top of this fruit farming game where you're growing fruit, you're gathering fruits of different time. They're really nice components. I really dig them for the different fruits. I mean, they're just fruits, but I like, this is a prototype, but you have your different farmers, and you have grapes and lemons, and they all work really well. These are packed boxes, by the way. I think these are the actual size, but I had to put everything back in these bags to get them all in here. But basically you're working through this really extensive farm map, and it ends up, it's like worker placement, but it's the rondelle, right? So you're just moving your units, your workers around the board, your farmers, and again, you are collecting and then essentially bringing your fruit to the marketplace and selling them and trying to earn points, and there's goals and objective cards. Not the lightest game. On the denser side, the most dense of the set, but still with the rondelle, the track around, pretty lightweight, and it works easy. It says 45 to 60 minutes. I think that's a fair count. Again, I would rank it the heaviest of the set, but still very accessible, and I enjoyed this one a lot, and I really like the visual direction of the box and the board, which you can see here, perhaps, which is colorful, but also regional, and it works well. Okay, so that is Alpujarres. So next up, we have the Fisheries of Gloucester. This is, I think, based in the 1800s in New England, and this is a 2-player game, and what you're going to be doing is you have your fishing boats, and you're sailing, I guess it would be it's probably east from the East Coast, right? And as you move across, you are going to be fishing. What's neat about this one is you're using palominos, basically Tetris pieces, but not necessarily with 4, it could be a 1 or a 2, to basically give the route you're going to move your boats. But it's a 2-player game where a different player are moving their boats across the board, and it has a nice, couple nice mechanics in there in terms of what action you're going to choose to do. There are 4 actions, but you can only do 1 on your turn. You look at building the tracks you're gonna sail your boat across, but also the thing that I like the most is you have a number of boats, and they have this neat marker at the bottom of your track that tracks how you have to keep your fleet. You can only go as far. There's a region you can only go based on your back trailing fleet, so you sort of have to move everything else together. It's very tactical. You're looking at what your opponent's doing. You see the fish, and it works. Again, another box that's filled to the brim And again, I dig the art, I dig the execution here, but where are they? You have the little fish tokens. Everyone has a lobster on their board too, which is fun. Sort of gives you a bonus action, but you know, really nice execution. Really nice look to this game. You're not going to be able to see that, but it's a lobster. And it's a very head-to-head sort of dynamic two-player game, but nothing really aggressive. You're just fishing, but I dig it. So that is Fisheries of Gloucester. Gloucester. I don't know how to pronounce it. I should. Okay. Moving along. The Feds. Now, this is like a remake or redo of one of his earlier games. I think Gunrunners or whatever it was called. I hadn't played it. This is an area control game where you're going to be setting out and basically there are a number of different places. You're the Feds. You're trying to get illegal goods and catch criminals, but you're competing against other Fed factions, I guess. And there are different locations where you have criminals and contraband. And what you're going to be doing is putting in units, all of which have like values like 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm putting my 4 cop in there, and you're putting your 3 Fed in there, whatever. And we're trying to get have the most points at the location, but some are face down and some are face up. So it's pretty dense area control. But it's nice, and as you play, your different locations are getting refilled with different amounts of contraband, and you know, it just plays interesting. It's all of a Steve Finn thing, where it's an interesting mechanic. The theme's there. It's not crazy there, but it's there, and the artwork is well. I really enjoyed the looking of this one. You know, you're just, you know, it's a pretty tight game, and again, he's leveling up all of the components and the cards and the look and the feel of these. So he's really stepping it all up. I'm just very impressed. This is a nice isn't the right word, but relatively short, tense Steve Finn, you know, game where you're going to think about a lot of mechanics as you go. I dig it. All right, last up is the Little Flowershop. I did a preview for the original. This is the Little Flowershop, the dice game. Steve does an interesting thing where his dice games aren't necessarily lighter than the base game, but in this game you're basically going to have your little flower shop. You're trying to fill the shelves and have your sort of meet your decoration objectives. It's sort of like a Yahtzee game where you're going to roll, pick some dice, etc. But what makes it really interesting is you're working towards sort of communal sets. So like we're all trying to get, I don't know, Yahtzee, but a full house at the same time, for lack of a better term. But one of the dice is this initiative dice and die. And Steve knows initiative. But so everyone has their own die, but they have a different combination of dice, sort of like we did in Sunset Over Water. So as players are rolling, they're deciding what initiative they'll have on making their bouquet. And it really adds a nice additional layer to that sort of Yahtzee, roll 5, set aside 2, roll the other one, set aside 1 type of mechanic when you lock them in. Again, it's not necessarily lighter, but it's an interesting take, and it's cute, and I like Flowery art, and this delivers. Now, what I didn't get to play, which is included, is this Express game series where he has actually made, it's like a Kickstarter exclusive, I believe, but it's 4 2-player 10-minute games based on each IP, which to some extent means he takes the theme and he takes some of the art, but they're like small little card games. There's some information on the site. Again, I haven't played these, but watching his video, they're like short, fun play experiences. And he's really good at small, interesting gameplay dynamics. So again, it's a great set. You know, this game I think stands out to me, but I really do like 2-player games in Fisheries of Gloucester. Again, I haven't played Gunrunners, but this worked, and so I don't know how different it is, but I do like the direction of it. And a Little Flowershop I think is a nice addition to the Flowershop theme, though a little bit different. All worth your attention. Again, I think you can pick one or the other, and hopefully this was a pretty good overview. So anyway, thanks. Bye. Hey everybody, Edo here, and thanks for watching Gaming with Edo. Reviews over here on this playlist, League and Insider videos over here on this one. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But most importantly, play some great games. Thanks. Bye.